Right, so in my last video I talked about John Sheridan becoming the new Oldham manager, and if I think if he can keep Oldham up. So there'll be a link in the description to go watch that video. But in this video I'm going to be talking about people who are calling John Sheridan a snake and why I think that might possibly be false. So when he left in May after keeping Oldham up, Oldham basically said no approach has been made by Leeds or who else was it now? Bolton, that was it. By both of these clubs, and says we want to keep on to hold of John Sheridan. And then he went to Notts County, obviously, and the statement was something like, we don't want to stop a manager, making progression in their career, so that's why we've let him go. Now, a lot of people saw that and thought, oh, John Sheridan's a snake, oh, he's done it for the money and all that. And that's one side of the argument. That's Oldham's side of the argument, Simon Corney's side of the argument. It's not John Sheridan's side of the argument. Now, in the press, I've got it here, in the press conference he did yesterday. Right, here we go. He says, money never motivates me. I just want to manage and be successful. I don't want to go on about it much, but I didn't jump ship. So what I think possibly by balancing those two arguments is that John Sheridan possibly got forced out of Oldham, maybe by Simon Corney, who wanted the money for whatever reason you might speculate. Now that's what I thought before. Now after, once I'd gone through the whole press conference, reading all the transcripts, he says something. I haven't got it here, but he says something like, he left because the players, Matty Palmer, Holloway, Gerrard, weren't going to stay because obviously Burton were going up. Holloway was going to a new club, and Gerrard was probably maybe too good for League One at that point, and probably could have got to a Championship club. So the players he wanted to keep weren't going to stay, and it would have been back to square one maybe, and then would Corney have backed him with the loanees or buying new players, etc. So he said he wanted to leave it to another manager. Now I think that's kind of true to an extent, because he didn't want to tarnish his reputation. By keeping Oldham up and then getting relegated with that squad which had no players. Now, he went to Notts County and thought maybe he could do something, and obviously it hasn't worked out. Now, Notts County, I'm not trying to slag Notts County fans off here, but in the summer their owner, it's not, they've kind of got a similar to what Blackpool are, maybe not as bad, but Notts County have had a takeover recently, which is good for them, because some owners, like at Blackpool, Coventry, Blackburn, did I say Blackpool? Blackpool, Blackburn and Coventry, their owners are kind of ruining the club, and you could probably say with Oldham, possibly, some people are 50-50 on that. There we go, he says, I believe in myself, I know I'm a good manager, and I wouldn't have come back if I didn't think we could get out of the position we are in. Now obviously it isn't probably easier by points than it was last time, but to people who are still thinking he's a snake, if you shout from the stands, oh, John Sheridan, you're a fucking snake, blah 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 blah, like some people have been going on Twitter, I've been seeing people like that, don't complain if he leaves in May, because if you go to work and everyone's there slagging you off, shouting at you and all that, calling you whatever, would you go back to work? No, you wouldn't. You'd leave, you'd go to another company, get another job, whatever. Same thing with school or whatever, basically any situation. And it's no different in football. If you're getting slagged off and booed by fans, then you're going to leave. Now obviously, one fan saying something on Twitter isn't going to make you leave, but sometimes the negative, even if it is a minority, outweigh the positive, because if someone's doing something good, you don't always say they're doing something good, you only ever say if they're doing something bad. So even if you had 2,000 people who supported him and 100 who were against him, if all them 100 are booing and the 2,000 aren't saying anything, then it's obviously it's gonna make you think that all the fans hate him. But personally, obviously I don't think he jumped ship. That's my opinion. If you disagree with that, let me know, obviously. And it's not. Don't hate me because I think something. It's like, just don't. But I think Oldham can. I do think John Sheridan can keep Oldham up. And I think if we did go down, I think he would take us back up if he got backed. If he weren't just given average League 2 players with the budget, I think if he was able to get or keep players, some players, then I think definitely could go back up. But if you want to know what I think could happen with John Sheridan, go watch my other video. I'll link it in the description. I'll put the annotations on. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. And I'll see you if I make any more of these videos.